All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of the Competitive Edge Real Estate Report, where we're giving information for those that are in the market to purchase or sell, but we're also giving information to real estate agents. In this particular episode, we're doing in regards to the opportunity with a company that is really changing the way real estate is done, much like Uber changed the transportation industry and Netflix changed how we watch movies. This company is having a drastic effect on the real estate market. And I got an amazing success story that you're going to hear about of someone that has taken advantage of this opportunity and is just running with it. His name is Andrew Vose. He's been in real estate for, get this, 4 years, only 4 years with the company, and he's been with the same company. He started with this company 4 years ago, and he's grown a huge business, already doing 226 sides, on his way to doing 300 sides for the year. He's an Army veteran and really applying a lot of those skills that he learned in the Army to building a huge organization within this company that we're going to talk about. The company that we're talking about is EXP. It's my company, it's his company. And for those that see the opportunity, it could be your company very soon, and many people are moving over here. So without any further ado, let me introduce you to Andrew Vose. How you doing, sir?
What's up, Barry? Thank you for having me on here. I'm super excited. I'm always excited, so always trying to smile, but I appreciate it. Love the opportunity. I love what you got going on here, and I hopefully we can give back, you know?
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. And when we met through a mutual friend that was able to put us together. And like I said, I was just blown away by the numbers that you're putting up in such a short period of time. And it obviously there's a work ethic, there's systems in place, I'm sure. But it all started with you making a decision to choose a company, and you chose EXP. What was it about EXP in the beginning that just made so much sense for you?
Yeah, so when I was in the Army, I was with a travel company, right? Building out a team there. Ended up having, 1,000 people or such, or what I don't even remember. It doesn't even matter. But I met this crazy couple from Nashville on the side of the street at this personal development conference in Baltimore. And, in his Nashville, Tennessee accent, hey, man, what's going on? And I can't even do it like he can, but Jay and Ashley Nelson and
Mhm.
he was like, man, you'd make a great realtor, and I'm like, no, I don't want to be a realtor. This is what I pictured realtors do, and I know this is not what they do now,
Mhm.
obviously being in there and seeing it. But I'm like, I'm gonna always have to have my car clean. I'm gonna have to like not look like I have a family or I do anything else but drive people around in my car and then go grab a key and open up the door for them, and try to sell them on a house, which is absolutely not what we do at all, right?
Yeah.
But I had this
Mhm.
vision because that's what my realtor did to me. She
Yeah.
picked me up, she drove me around, she fed me hot dogs, and she sold me that house. So what that's all I had to go off of, right?
Yeah.
So he was like, "Oh, you should become a realtor, blah blah blah." And this time, at that time, he was the number one Remax agent in the state of Tennessee, right?
Mhm.
So 5 years go by, and every time we talk or we see each other, he's like, "Hey, you gonna get into real estate?" And I'm like, "Hey, no, I am not getting into real estate."
Yeah.
But what he did was he actually taught me stuff without telling me. He was very persistent and consistent with it, right? And I think that translates a lot into any business that or anybody that wants to be successful in a business are those two key things. So I got approached again by a brand new agent. I've known her for a while, and she was like, "Hey," and her and I had been in businesses together before. She's like, "Hey, I just joined this company with EX. It's called EXP. You should get your real estate license and join with me." And she was my sponsor in my other company,
Ah,
a multi-level marketing company with travel and stuff like that. I had a lot of fun there. It
yeah.
was so much fun. But she was like, "Hey, you should join with me," and I'm like, "Okay." She put me on the phone with some people, and I'm like, "Okay." Well, if I'm going to get my real estate license, who do I want to align myself with? Do I want to align myself with somebody that their sole purpose is to recruit, or because we do have a very phenomenal model here to do that. And I just want to emphasize the reason why there's stigma, or maybe you read something that's negative about that, is because we're the only one that truly pays out to do that. So
Yeah.
more people do it. If
Yeah.
there's an opportunity there, people are going to take advantage of it. If there's not, then why would I waste my time doing it?
Yeah.
Do you like risk versus reward, right? So I'm like, okay. So I started researching and I was like, well, I know Jay, and I knew Jay had switched over from Remax to EXP. And I was like, Jay, show me EXP.
Hmm.
And that's how I aligned myself with him. And I was like, all right, if I do this, you have my word, I'm going to join with you. So I
Yeah.
took my license. I got my license within 60 days or 30 days, and in Colorado. And I joined with Jay. And I was like, all right, teach me how to do real estate. And he already had a system in place to where he was training new agents, seasoned and new, excuse me, system processes. So I plugged into their system, and I just got myself a local mentor, and I annoyed the crap out of him. I said, teach me everything you know. And the great thing about being a mentor or having a mentor at the company is they basically still have to be in production.
Hmm.
So they still know what's going on, right? For the
Yeah.
most part, right? You got good and bad everywhere, but I just was very fortunate enough. I had an amazing mentor, and now the funny thing is, he's actually coming to me for mentorship, right? Which I'm always willing to get. I don't even care who it is. I'm always willing to give my knowledge that I've acquired, right? Which isn't much, I think, over 4 years. Um, but he's like, hey, will your agents help me with showings? I'm going to be out of town. Hey, how'd you build your team? Hey. And I'm like, man, Tim, I got you, dude, right? You helped me so much. So I had a great mentor, and I just plugged away. Boom, boom, boom. And yes, I saw the model for the recruiting aspect, because every time I looked at any other company or real estate, even from the outside looking in, not being a realtor, I was like, well, this is dumb. What, in order to get to the top of the company, I have to spend $100,000 to buy a franchise. And
Hmm.
everybody saw, if your eyes were open, what happened to real estate franchises when COVID hit. The
Yeah.
offices were empty. Everybody went to Zoom. Everybody was virtual. Everybody was trying to scramble to get all their classes online. Guess where we're at? We're already
Yeah.
there.
Yeah.
Guess what we did? We didn't even have to pivot. All we did was push the foot on the gas, went from 30 hours of training to 50 plus, got more agents that were icon agents on calls, and we just poured. So like, I was like, man, this is like awesome, right? I freedom of movement. And so just started plugging away, and that's kind of my story. I'll stop there, but that's how I got started.
Yeah, and it's a great story. I love the lead up to it as well, because again, going from a place of thinking real estate is not my jam, it's not the place I want to be, and then seeing an opportunity as it transformed into something more that you were familiar with from a network marketing standpoint. But then really, I know we've had some conversation, and while you do build your organization, your focus is more so on your team and the production that you're actually doing in real estate. And I think that's another myth that many people have, is that everyone comes over here and they're recruiting, and real estate is not being purchased and sold.
Yeah.
But the bottom line is, real estate has to be purchased and sold for people to get paid in the revenue share. If there's no revenue to share, money's not being dispersed out. And you've been able to do something where, again, in a 4-year period, you're doing in upwards of 200,000, approaching, excuse me, 200 units, up to 300 sides that you're looking at hitting for this fiscal year for yourself. And this is through building a team, correct?
Yeah, it is. I mean, my progression was, and this by no means is to impress anybody, just to kind of impress upon you that anything's possible, right? I'm just an average guy. All I did was take the tools and the mentorship and lots of persistency and consistency and hard work, right? Because I would take hard work over talent any day. It's good to have both, but sad to say, I would take hard work over talent all day. But when you find both, I mean, shoot, lock arms with that. But so what I did was, I'm like, okay, I started recruiting, and I was like, okay, I had a big network, so people were just coming in. And then locally in Colorado Springs, nobody knew who Andrew Vose was. I was a nobody in real estate, right? They're like, well, come back when you sold a house. What have you done? Right? Kind of like that macho man. I'm like, you got completely went over your head what I'm trying to show you. But okay, challenge accepted. So I went and did 22 homes. This is 4 months in. I didn't sell my first home until March, and I got my license November 1st. So yeah. So 4 months in, I started selling, and I did 22 sides there in 8 months. And then the second year I did 67. So what I did was, or my first year I made 112,000 gross. Guess how much I netted? Like 50K. Why? Because I put $60,000 back into my business.
Smart.
Over half. And guess what it did? The second year I made 400,000. Right? I did 67 sides. Boom. And then I was also getting into higher price points. So when I started in Colorado Springs, the average price point was 300,000. Now it's 500, right?
Yeah.
So as I'm going through this progression and hard work, the prices are going up, and I'm getting better. My skills are getting better, so I'm able to do more. And then I just started hiring people like a TC, a transaction coordinator, right? Because I'm like, cool, like, and you'll find, and I'm glad you brought up systems at the beginning, because I was doing an icon conversation. It's always a tongue twister for me, but it's where the top agents in the company, they do a training and a panel, and then it's posted in our world. And then agents can just go in and just absorb. There's a ton of knowledge, 50 plus hours of training in there a week, lead generation, icons, teaching you from all over the world, not just your market. So instead of staying super hyper local, you can go learn from the best. Kyle Whistle, Barry Overton, Andrew Vose, boom, boom, boom. And you're just getting all this knowledge from different markets and perspectives. So I went from 22, making 112 that year, gross 50, or netted 50, excuse me. Then I went up to 467. And guess how much I put into my business second year? Like 200.
Okay.
I just double it every year. And I just systems, leads, processes, marketing, and I'm just growing. And this year I think I'll make like 600,000 in growth in commissions, right? And I'm putting less now. So what I did was I went boom, a lot, boom, a lot. Now I built out a team that just happened organically. I didn't really want a team. It just happened by you do a lot of work, and you have a lot of fun, and you smile and you treat people the right way. You attract people, right?
Yeah.
So I'm just started attracting people, and they're like, we want to start a team with you. And I'm like, all I saw was like, dang, all right, headache, right?
Yeah.
But now I love it. I love the people. I love my partners. I love our agents, and I'm so grateful it happened. But the mindset shifted for me. I had to go more into like what value do I provide them, right? I'm still a new agent. They're like deer in headlights where I was 2 years ago. I mean, so it's been interesting. It's been fun though.
Yeah, that is great. And now you're in Florida, is where you live. I'm assuming. Do you still do business in Colorado?
Yeah, I think I have to double check. I have like 7 personal closings there this month.
Oh wow.
So yeah, and so what I do now is I split them with our agents or my partners. So they do a lot of like the groundwork, right? And I'll do like handle any admin stuff. But the great thing about real estate is it's overall, if you look at the whole thing, besides paid for leads, it's a giant referral business.
Yeah.
So like, why would I? So what I did is I worked super super hard for those 2.5 3 years that I was in Colorado to build up this sphere of influence and these referrals and coming from other agents. So I take half the deal, but I worked those 3 years to get that deal. People don't know. They're like, oh, it's just a referral. No, this is a third time referral from an agent I did 2 other clients with, and I did a great job. So
Yeah.
no, I worked my butt off for this, So and they hold down the fort, and then we're building out a team here in Florida, and then building out one in Massachusetts, and I think we just brought on somebody in Rhode Island, so we're
Oh,
going to be building it out there as well.
yeah. And that is another aspect of EXP that you can't really do in most cases. I never even thought about growing my business outside of Colorado. And here it is now, just in 6 months, I used to refer or get referrals from out of state agents, about 4 to 5 the entire year. In the first 6 months, I've referred out or been referred to as an agent on 11 different deals. And that's the beauty. And it's all EXP agents. We have a community where we can just communicate with one another. And on top of that, I'm able to look for those icon agents in a particular area to make sure that I'm connecting my client with one of the best in their community. And before I used to have to get online and I spent 2, 3 hours researching a different agent that, I had no background on. But EXP has made it through Workplace very simple to be able to refer out. Just what you're doing as well, building your organization throughout the country and eventually throughout the world as we continue to grow internationally.
Yeah, and you mentioned a good platform, Workplace, because that's where it helped me build my first year, 2 years, and I still get referrals to this day, right? Um, through Workplace. And cool thing about Workplace is it's ran through by Facebook, right? And so EXP was one of the first. I don't quote me on the number. I think it was like one of the first 100 companies to partner with them on Workplace, right?
Wow.
So took the took the social aspect and just made it really professional, right? Where people can collaborate and
Mhm.
network and send referrals and classes. And I'm pretty sure our payment processor. We have a payment processor for our team, and she communicates with us through there in email. So I had a question on a transaction, and I just saw one come through, and I'm pretty sure that's her answering my question, right? So it's very like it takes. I don't know if people have ever worked for like a giant corporation, but that's how they communicate. And
Yeah.
everybody's like, "Oh, I don't want to. I want a face to face." I'm like, you've never this isn't McDonald's. Like you can get a face to face at McDonald's, but I mean McDonald's is pretty impressive. It's all ran by high school kids, and if you look at that, right, which is
Yeah.
stupid because they have a system and process in place. It's
Yeah.
wild. But um that's how they communicate. It's one division to the next, and you IM them or work or Microsoft Teams or something like that, right? So
Mhm.
we have that already built into our company, and then we have 600 plus employees that you can hop onto the world and hey, I have an issue with my email. Hey, I have a tech question about my computer. Hey, I have an issue with accounting. Hey, I just switched over from using my social security number to get paid through to LLC accounting. Okay, cool. We'll send you a hello sign, fill that out, and boom, it's switched, right?
Yeah.
So
Mhm.
I don't know. It's super simple for me. I like it. Some people, and I didn't even like. I don't really care for video games. I have an attention span for video games for like
Mhm.
30 minutes. That's what I thought the world was at first. But
Yeah.
then when I got in there and I got out of my own head and I stopped making excuses, I was like, oh, this is freaking cool. Now I'm training in there, and it's just wild.
Oh
So
yeah. Yeah, it is. It's amazing.
yeah,
And so, again, hearing your story, I'm sure this has now afforded you a lifestyle. I was hearing how you're investing back into the business and you're in the trenches and you're working hard. But now we were talking last week, and you were telling me how, again, your day is your day.
yeah.
You really have a lot of time to yourself. So let's just talk about lifestyle that EXP has afforded you in a 4 year period.
Yeah, so I've either purchased at a discount or been awarded over $250,000 worth of stock so far. It's probably even higher. I was telling that story like a year ago, so that's when I
Mhm.
calculated it. So I'm sure it's much higher now.
Yeah.
But it is what it is, right? A dollar more than any other company's given, right?
Yeah.
So I'm like, whatever.
Yeah.
I like a dollar. Um, So, but yes, it has afforded me the lifestyle. And whether you're going to be a single agent or you're going to be a team or start a team or whatever, as long as you put the systems and processes and support network in place, you can live whatever lifestyle you want.
Yeah.
If you choose to never go on vacation and be burned out, that's on you, right?
Mhm.
That's nobody's fault. That's just because either you're not connected with the right people like Barry, who can show you how to set up all those systems and processes, or you just make excuse after excuse and just don't want to do it, and you actually love being that busy, right? So like, I'm not an analytical person. So when people are like, "Oh, I can't leave my business. I'm so tied to it." I'm like, "Why?" I can literally do the same thing from Florida, from Mexico. All I have to do is either give up a little bit of commission,
Mhm.
or I have to have Showingly show some houses for me, or whoever, get another EXP agent, toss them some dollars, or
Mhm.
I just have to trust my admin and my VA or my TC, a virtual assistant, or TC to get the job done, and just communicate with my clients and let them know, hey, I'm out of state, I'm on vacation. Where are they going to be pissed that you're on vacation? Like, what am I supposed to never leave?
Yeah.
Like, come on, like, so yeah, so I think a lot of times people are scared. It's like a fear. They're like, if I leave, this whole thing's going to crumble. Well, that is a bad feeling to have, and if you have that or you're worried about that, you just need to put systems and processes in place and people in place to help you do that. And it's amazing. Go on more vacations, you'll get more busy.
Yeah,
It's just
absolutely.
yeah.
Yeah. So one last question for you. So again, I'm sure we have some agents that have tuned in, and you have that person that's maybe going through the real estate school, debating on where they should hang their license. I just want you to share for that brand new agent that's shopping around to figure out where they're going to hang their license, why EXP makes so much sense.
Yeah, and don't get mad at me for saying this, but I think you should shop, because if you put numbers against numbers in your real, because real estate isn't a part-time thing. And
Mhm.
especially over the next year, right? Even if you have another job. When I started real estate, I was working for the government. I had a job.
Mhm.
Uh, I was very fortunate that I didn't have to show up every day. So my situation may be different than yours, but I think both either situation is manageable. So you have to go all in. And if you go all in and you put EXP next to any other company and all the benefits of ability to get health care, 6 ways to earn stock, if you share the opportunity or attract an agent like your friends and family or to the company, you get a little piece of what they do, right? And then if training is your thing, all these companies say they offer training. What's so different about their training and our training? If you look at it, we have the best agents in the world with us. Like you, I mean, we have incredible talent here. People that own six Keller Williams, was a regional owner, moved his shut all that down, left all that, and came to build EXP. We have some of the best talent here. So I would truly put it, do 10,000 hours of research. They say before you make a decision, I don't have 10,000 hours to make a decision. I make decisions very decisively and quick, but do your research. And if you truly care about growth and what your business is going to look like 1, 3, 5, 10 years from now, I think EXP is a great home for you, because it's been nothing but incredible to me the last not even 4 years yet. So I would just put everything. And a lot of people overpromise and underdeliver, right? And the grass isn't perfect anywhere you go.
Yeah.
But EXP has never overpromised and underdelivered on anything for me or our team or anything. So it is
Yeah.
what it is, you know?
Yeah, absolutely. Hey, I just want to thank you so much for your time. I appreciate it. And again, it was a wealth of information that you were able to share with us in a very short period of time that I think will, anyone that's listening to this and you take the information that he's just shared, do, as he's mentioned, do your own research, but you'll see that there's just a great opportunity. And when you think about what the future holds in real estate, a lot of the arrows are pointing towards EXP as the future. So again, Andrew, thank you so much. Anyone listening, if you have questions for myself or Andrew, our contact information is at the end of this video. We look forward to assisting you and growing with you. So thanks until the next time.
Let's get it.